Hello again, we're back with another recipe today. After all that meat over Christmas, we've got something nice and healthy and vegan for you this week. It's actually a South African curry called Bunny Chow. It's nothing to do with rabbit food. The Boonies were Indian traders, and so that was the South African name for them. But it's really delicious, and it's something a little bit out of the ordinary. You don't see very much. I think you really like it, and the way it's served as well is very interesting. And just like the curry we made last week, the boona is extremely simple to make. Just a few ingredients all thrown together in a pan, and then it's done. Well, let's have a look at the ingredients now. I've got them all laid out here. First ingredient you see here is a generous pinch of asafoetida. It's not very easy to find in Western shops. You'll need to look in an Indian grocer to find it. Here we have half a teaspoon of whole cumin, half a teaspoon of whole mustard seeds, a quarter of a teaspoon of whole fennel seeds, a whole habanero pepper chopped with its seeds, 1.5 medium onions, quartered and then cut into fine rings. There's also a sprig of curry leaves on top there, finely chopped. 3 large cloves of garlic and an inch of ginger, peeled and finely grated. Half a teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, half a teaspoon of, a teaspoon of curry powder, quarter teaspoon of smoked paprika, and about, what else? About a quarter teaspoon of turmeric there. 1 200-gram tomato, finely chopped. 1¼ teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of amchur, and a quarter teaspoon of garam masala, all mixed together. And the bulk of the dish, that is 250 grams of pinto beans. I soaked them overnight and then cooked them for about an hour. So there's the ingredients, very simple, and it's very simple to put together. Let's get on with it. I like to cook this in a wok. I cook most of my Indian food in a wok actually. I had some leftover sun-dried tomatoes with lots of oil in it, so I'm actually going to use the oil for this. There's no need to waste it. And of course it's got tomatoes in it. I think the sun-dried tomatoes will give it an interesting flavour. Yeah, if I'm ever on holiday, instead of buying oil, I just buy sun-dried tomatoes and use the oil out of these. It saves on wastage. I'm just going to heat that up. It's got to get nice and hot before we can actually start cooking. Oil's getting pretty hot now. When it's getting close to temperature, I like to test it. I just get a mustard seed and throw it in. See what happens. Okay, nothing as yet, so it's not hot enough. When the mustard seed pops and fizzes a bit, okay, then it's hot enough to begin. Okay, mustard seed is popping. First thing to go in, asafoetida. Mustard seeds and cumin seeds. Swirl them around, they're fizzing away, good. Fennel seeds. Good. Chili. Don't breathe in. Onion and curry leaves. Just cook this down now. Let the onions brown up a bit. Get the last of the chili out of here. Well, habanero's getting the back of my throat. It's going to be a good one. The onions are starting to go light brown now, just at the bottom. So it's time to add the ginger and the garlic. Stir it in well. We'll cook this for about a minute. It's starting to stick to the bottom a bit now, so I'll add the spices from the bowl. And I'm going to stir this round, just wake up those spices for about 30 seconds. Once the spices are starting to become nice and aromatic, throw in your tomato. Cook it till it softens up. You'll see when it starts to go pulpy. The tomatoes are starting to go nice and mushy now, so it's time to add the water. 500 millilitres of water. And we can add the last of these spices, that's the amchur, the garam masala and the salt. You can give the bottom a scrape, it'll get all those spices and garlic that stuck to the bottom off. And that'll go into the sauce, it'll just add flavour. I'm going to put a lid on that and I'm going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes. This has been simmering away nicely now for about 15 minutes. Time to add the beans. Get your cooked pinto beans and cook them straight in. And we're now going to cook that on low for another 20 minutes. So I'll turn the heat up, just bring it back to a simmer, and then put the lid back on. Of course, if you wanted, you could add some sliced chorizo now, which would be very nice in it. I have done that and it works well, but I'm keeping it vegetarian today. Yeah, I've just fried a veggie sausage and I'm going to throw that in at the end. Okay. On goes the lid, turn the heat down, and 20 minutes. The way bunny chow is served is really interesting for a curry. It stems from its South African origins. It was just sold out of the back of the shop, so it never comes with rice. It's actually served in bread. Well, I've got my bunny chow here. I've finished it, mixed it all up with the sausage that I cooked, and we're going to serve it up now. I like to serve it in just small crusty rolls. And what you do is, I cut one end off here, and then hollow it out. Use your fingers and out inside as much as you can. Just squash that bread down. Make as much space as you can inside it for curry. And you're going to make a pocket, obviously, like this. You can use something bigger if you're just serving yourself and you really want to pig out. You can use a massive stone-baked boule or something. Yeah, the choice is yours. There's a huge amount of choice out there in terms of what bread you serve it in. I don't like something too heavy. These light, crusty rolls I find are just right for serving it. You know, a boule is big. It's a lot of food though in a boule. You know, it's heavy. There's a lot to it. There we go. I'm really trying to squash it down as much as possible. Some people just tear the bread out, but I don't like to tear it out unless I'm going to use it for something else. You know, that's a waste of bread to my mind. I never tear it out. Okay, we've got a nice pocket there. I like to get some mango chutney. And the sweetness, because it's quite a hot dish, I find some sweetness inside the bread really improves it. So I've got a teaspoon of mango chutney, and I'm just going to paint that, and paint this mango chutney on one side of the bread there. Okay, there we go. Next, I like to get a pickled chili. There we go, that's that one. Knife, take the head off. And push the pickled chili inside it in the middle there. And then just get a spoon and spoon in your bunny chow like that. Push it all down. Careful not to split the bread, obviously don't overfill it. There we go. That's about right. And there you go. You can just wrap it in a napkin, eat it like that, or hand it out. It's great for parties, you know. You can just hand it to people as they come past. You can even put the lid back on if you're wrapping it up. Yeah, but it's time now for the taste test. Okay, here we go. The first bunny chow I've had in quite a while. I used to make this a lot when I was younger, but I haven't had it in so long. It's quite a hot, spicy dish. Mm, mm. Oh, wow. It's kind of like the epitome of comfort food. It's so easy to eat. Mm. Oh, yeah, the habanero certainly makes it nice and hot. So, there you have it. Bunny chow from start to finish. I really hope you try this recipe at home. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. You can, as you can see, it's very flexible. You can cook it in so many ways, do exactly what you want with it. You know, it's a really versatile dish and great at parties, and it deserves to be better known. It really is very delicious. So that's all for this week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.